Rachel Iman. I'm a second grade teacher at Greenbrier Primary. I am super excited. This has been a dream of mine since I was a little kid, and I'm just excited to welcome the future of Chesapeake and hopefully teach them lots of cool stuff and build some great relationships.
Welcome to Amplified, the Chesapeake Public Schools podcast.
Chesapeake Schools is located in the Hampton Roads area of southeastern Virginia. We serve 40,000 students in 45 schools and 3 centers. This podcast is designed to tell the stories behind our story and to introduce and celebrate the people and programs that make us one of the premier school districts in Virginia.
All right, here we are back for our second episode, and that was first-year teacher Rachel Iman from Greenbrier Primary School at the very beginning, sharing what she is looking forward to this school year. You can tell how excited she is, right, Richie?
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, that was from the new teacher orientation, and there was a lot of excitement in the room, actually.
Yeah.
And some nervousness, too, honestly.
Yeah, they were a little nervous, but I think they're excited for the school year. That was put on by the Department of Professional Development, and they put that out every year. And they actually had a guest speaker, Michael Bonner from the Ron Clark Academy, come and speak, and he did a great job.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
And the students are kind of excited now that they're back in attendance at school. You were able to go to Deep Creek High.
Yes, I was able to stop by Deep Creek High School. I had a great conversation with a senior there, Kiera Whiteman. We talked about a lot of stuff, especially with the start of the school year. We even talked about chickens. I mean, it was awesome. We talked. She's a chicken tender. Did you know that?
No.
She's a chicken tender. She has chickens. I mean, besides that, she does a ton of stuff for the school.
Yeah. Very involved kid. Well, let's take a listen.
All right, sounds good. So this is Matt Graham, and I am here with Kiera Whiteman, a senior at Deep Creek High School. She is also the SCA president, and she's in the Science and Medicine Academy. And yesterday, she found out she is the co-chair of the Hospitality and HQ Committee for VSCA, for the Virginia Student Council Association. Kiera, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and we are here on site at Deep Creek High School. Kiera, can you tell us a little bit more about you? Like when we were talking to Miss Garrett, she was saying that you are involved in so many things.
Okay, so I was also in Scholastic Bowl last year, which was really fun, first year doing that. Probably going to go again next year, or this year. Through the Science and Medicine Academy, I got 2 chickens. So I'm a chicken tender. I have a t-shirt that says that. It's great. Let's see, what else do I do? I wrote a whole list of this last night, like not even trying.
Are you prepping for like some applications or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm just trying, because I realized I wear a lot of hats. Yeah. And so I was like, I don't have a list of that. I'm also an NHS. I have volunteered for the past almost 6 years at River Oak Church doing childcare.
Okay. Well, it seems like you are out there volunteering, doing a bunch of stuff. I actually own some chickens as well. I had 3, and we named them after my grandmothers. We had Marina, Betty, and Grace. They ate the grubs in the grass. The kids loved trying to catch them, and they gave us fresh eggs every morning. So enough about chickens, except for the fact that I'm getting kind of hungry. So Kiera, this is your final year as a Hornet.
I know, it's weird.
Have you been in Deep Creek? Have you been through Deep Creek like your whole life? What other schools were you at?
No, I was actually born in California, and I started kindergarten and preschool in Florida. Then we moved back to California where I finished kindergarten, and then I was homeschooled for first grade. And I don't remember where I was all the other grades, but I know third grade I was in Idaho and then also Virginia, but in Virginia Beach. And then I came to Chesapeake Public Schools in like halfway through the 4th grade at Crestwood Intermediate. Then I did Crestwood Middle, and now I'm here.
All right, awesome. So your experience at Chesapeake Public Schools has been...
It's been great so far.
Pretty nice. Yeah, awesome. And what are things that you are looking forward to now? It's your final year, your senior year. What are you looking forward to?
I love that I get to do all sorts of crazy things as SCA president and in the advisory committee for VSCA. I'm looking forward to working with some people in Hopewell, they're my co-chair for VSCA, and we're going to decorate. We had the meeting on Saturday where we picked co-chairs and everything, and we've already got a million ideas, and we are working through which ones are logical and logistical and all that, and then which ones might not be such a great idea. Just looking forward to finishing off strong and trying to make new traditions.
Okay, that's nice. Now that school's been in session for a couple of weeks, right? Where it's been almost a month now. What's it been like? Has there been anything new and exciting that's taken place here at Deep Creek?
It's been a lot of fun so far. We did something very new this year. We did a back-to-school bash, which was kind of like a block party for everyone in the school.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we partnered with the elementary school. You can literally walk to it from our front doors. And we took over their parking lot, and we brought in food trucks and a DJ, and we had games, and everyone just kind of hung out, and it was great. And then they either got shuttled or walked over to the football stadium at the middle school for a neon-themed home game.
Oh, my gosh.
So that was a lot of
awesome.
fun. And then we did a back-to-school spirit week this year, which we've never done before, to my knowledge.
And it went well? A lot of fun?
It went really well.
Right.
I think our most popular day was either White Lie Wednesday or Barbenheimer, which was pink versus black.
Oh, yes.
People loved that.
Yeah, because of the movie that's been out, the Barbenheimer, like that. Good. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It was.
Yeah, that's a great way to start the year. I mean, sometimes they wait for the Spirit Week for homecoming, but
that's in the works already.
Oh,
we've got that.
Yeah, what's that going to be?
Oh, it's going to be. Oh, I don't remember the days off the top of my head, but it's like Netflix themed, kind of.
Okay.
So we've got all of our days based off of Netflix shows.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
We've got a dance this year, which was not official for the past few years. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah. So, and you're helping organize and do all this stuff behind the scenes for the school. That's great. That's great. And you have some help too, right?
A lot of help.
Okay. And what are your plans after school?
I think I want to go on the pre-med track. I like the idea of working with kids and doing something medical. So I'm thinking like neonatology or pediatric oncology right now. I went and visited University of Richmond over the summer, and that was like the most beautiful campus ever. And I really want to go there, even though it's like in a city. It's kind of off to the side and surrounded by trees and big houses. So it feels kind of more like a retirement community, but like in the best way possible.
Yes, but in the best way. All right. At the beginning of this episode, we had a new teacher sharing what they're excited for the school year. What is some advice, now that the school year's been going, what is some advice that you might give to the families and students as they begin this school year? Okay,
so lots of people are going to tell you that you got to stay on the ball with your work. Otherwise, it's all going to crash down on you at the same moment. I definitely say that. I was a COVID freshman. So I didn't really understand the impact that high school has on the rest of your life. I mean, it's a really important time to branch out and find where you're supposed to be and where you want to be.
Right. So if you could tell a student in middle school, hey, when you're coming up to high school, here's my top 3 things I would say to you for advice, what would that be?
Ooh, okay. Probably number 1, find a club that really speaks to you. For me, that was SCA because I'd already been in SCA for 3 years throughout middle school. Number 2, probably try something new. I like Jeopardy, so Scholastic Bowl made sense to me. And it's technically counted as a sport, so I'm a sports person now.
There you go. That counts.
Yeah, and then number 3, I don't know, try to take some time where you're not doing anything, make time for me time.
I think that's great advice.
Schoolwork piles up, and all your extracurriculars, they feel like a lot sometimes, but you want all of them.
Right. All right. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our Chesapeake Public Schools family as we begin this new year?
Perseverance is key. Just keep going with it. You got it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kiera. It's been great having you on the podcast. We hope you have a great year, and we wish you nothing but success in the future. It sounds like you got a lot of avenues planned out. If you needed to go different channels, you're going to find your path. So congratulations, and it's been a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you.
Did you know that Chesapeake Public Schools has an app? Stay up to date on news, events, and reminders for the district and your school. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store to download the app today. It's everything Chesapeake in your pocket. Be a part of the Chesapeake Public Schools family. We are hiring teachers, bus drivers, school nutrition workers, nurses, and more. Visit cpschools.com or call 757-547-0001 to join our team.
So as we said at the beginning, the kids are back in attendance at school, and attendance actually is an important word right now. September is Attendance Awareness Month, and it is important, very important for kids to be in school.
Right.
Just like it's important for people to be at work.
Right.
And so the person who's in charge of attendance for the entire Chesapeake School District is with us today.
Welcome to the show. Do you mind telling our listeners a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Mr. Richie Babb.
Yes.
Mr. Matt Graham. I'm Yvette Lagares. I work in the Office of Student Enrollment and Attendance for Chesapeake Public Schools. We help families get enrolled and make sure that they attend. We are there to help them have a successful year.
Okay. Very good.
Nice. Now, can you tell us how you ended up in the position that you have now? Word on the street, you used to work in the courts.
Did you work in the courts? You worked for the police or something before?
I never was a police officer.
Right.
I never was in that side of things.
Okay.
So I moved down to the Hampton Roads area in 2002. My sister and my brother-in-law were like, hey, come on down here. It's a great place to be. And they were both military. So I moved down here. And 6 months later, my sister gets deployed. I'm like, really? But when my first job here was actually at the Norfolk Sheriff's Office, I was what they call a classification specialist. So the idea is when people get detained, are incarcerated, you want to make sure that the housing situation is accurate. You don't want to have someone that might have only 2 or 3 days, because they missed a fine or something, in the same cell block as someone who's accused of something maybe a little bit more violent.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah.
and then there's sometimes that inmates need some social services, like a call home to mom or an attorney or something along those lines. Maybe a phone call to a family member to make sure that when they get released, there's someone there to pick them up.
Okay.
Things along those lines.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know there was such a job as that.
Yeah.
No,
I did not.
So, actually, all the Hampton Roads area jails have that kind of position, even at the state level. And then from the sheriff's office, I went over to the Chesapeake Magistrate's office. I was a magistrate in the city for about 6 years. From there, I went over to the courthouse, and I was an intake officer. So that's a juvenile equivalent of a magistrate, I would say. And then from there, I made the leap to Chesapeake Public Schools. And I've been with the school division since 2014. I started off in the student conduct office. I actually have a degree in history and a master's in education. So I took all my experience in the working world and my education, and it came into play with student conduct and supports. And then I made the transition over to student enrollment because I wanted to do truancy court. I was familiar with the court and the people and the processes, and attendance is my jam. So I figured, hey, this would be great.
Well, it seems like you are the perfect fit.
Yeah. So how many days a week or how many days in a month do you end up having to go to court?
Well, our truancy program has expanded a lot, unfortunately, but there is a need for it. When I first got this position, we would go every Monday, and it is now up to 4 times a month. Now, 5 years later, the court has recognized the need that we have, and we've expanded from initially 4 days per month to the possibility of up to 16 days per month.
Whoa.
So we have 4 judges, and we have a schedule. I know which courtroom I would be in on Monday if I have a docket each. On Tuesday, I know the judge, which courtroom, etc. Essentially, when we take a family to truancy court, it is a last resort. We are not doing it to be punitive, but we're hoping to use it as a springboard for other services. And sometimes it's not even an action against a parent. It might be a juvenile, a student that has decided that he or she is not going to be going to school anymore. And it's the parent reaching out to us saying, hey, I need help. I've tried X, Y, and Z. I need to get the court involved. And we're there.
Yeah. I have 1,000 questions. I'm not going to ask all of them. In fact, I'm not going to ask 999 of them.
I'm here for you.
I know you are. So what's the most common problem? What causes truancy? And I'm sure there's a whole range of things.
Yeah, where do I begin? So we have some families where it's just a pattern. I didn't graduate from high school. I didn't see the necessity, and I've passed that along to my kid. There's sometimes it's a matter of need. hey, I may have lost my job and my 16, 17-year-old son or daughter is supplementing our income and we need to work.
Right.
Because what do you choose? Do you choose going to school over paying the rent? So that sometimes it's family needs. Sometimes it's just barriers to attendance, such as maybe where you live, it's difficult to get access to the things that you need for school. It can be a lot of different things. Right now, unfortunately, I can say we are seeing more and more students that have school aversion because of mental health needs. And I respect you. If you tell me that you are just suffering from depression and anxiety, I respect you for saying that to me because that's a big step right there.
Sure.
But now that I know, let's see if I can get you the help that you need. And mom, dad, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Sure.
As a parent, when you hear that your kid has anxiety or depression, what do you do?
Right.
I mean, and I'm looking at you both. Am I the youngest one in this room? I don't know.
Yes, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
You're definitely younger than me.
Well, okay. As an 80s baby, you know, we were out until the streetlights were on and all this stuff. But we were latchkey kids. We didn't, you know, I didn't say to my mom, hey, I'm feeling anxious. Hey, I'm feeling depressed.
Right.
So now myself as a mother, if my child were to come to me and say something like that, I don't have a frame of reference. And as a parent, not having a frame of reference and you see that your child needs something, it's hard.
Yeah.
So again, we're not using this as a punitive measure. We're using it as a springboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
And
sometimes
that's good to know. Like, I think that's
So
a
let's look at it from the other side. What is attendance so important? I mean, it seems like a stupid question.
All right.
Okay.
I'm on my soapbox, people. All right. So
that's what you're here for.
Yeah. Attendance is important because, first of all, we're here to give a great example to kids about showing up, whether it's showing up to school or showing up in life, showing up for their family, showing up for their jobs. So if we start showing that model now, we're raising young adults that understand that you got to be there.
Right.
You know, that whole you got to be in it to win it kind of thing. The other thing, there is a high correlation between student success and attendance. If little Billy or little Yvette is having a difficulty reading, well, let's take a step back. Are they there every day? Are they getting the assistance that they need? Are they there on time? These things, they correlate and we don't think about it, but they do. And attendance is actually a good predictor as to whether or not a child's going to graduate. But our teachers are some of the best in the state. And in order for them, our children, our students, to fully grasp the lesson, they have to be there. They have to be present. And then we talk about the social emotional side of it. You're connecting with your peers. You're interacting with adults. You're learning valuable things when you're in school. It's not just the reading, writing, arithmetic. So attendance is important. You know, your kid can't be that star soccer player or that budding bassoonist. I mean, I couldn't think of an instrument. I'm sorry.
That's
good.
And that's alliteration there too.
Oh, thank you. Your child can't learn to be these things if he or she is not showing up for those lessons.
Right.
So if we're putting value on, you know, the soccer practices and the football practices and the bassoon practices,
Right.
you know, we need to put value on education. And I'm not saying because every child is going to go off to college, you know, that he or she may choose the trade route. They may find another path in life. They might go into the military. But even those paths, you need to show up. You need to be present.
Right.
So we're training our young to be there for us. And to give them the skill set that they need to be successful. Yeah. Attendance does matter. And our goal is to have your child graduate and be prepared for life.
Yeah. Right. This is a push for September, was a push in September. What are some of the things that we do to encourage attendance?
Chesapeake Public Schools, overall, we're an inviting place. Again, we have some of the best teachers. We do everything and anything that we can to make our school a welcoming environment. And even when there's barriers, we have school counselors, we have school social workers, we have a lot of support staff to make this the best possible transition for you. Mm-hmm. We ask that you as parents, that you talk to your kids about school, about the need to be here, that you set a good example, whether it's going to bed early so that you can get up nice and early and have that breakfast, or go to school and have breakfast because we provide that as well. We encourage you to talk to your kids about why it matters to be in school. We encourage you to do things such as reading to them in the evening so that they can get a little grasp of what's going on. And when they see that you're invested in their schooling, they become invested, because you can't show me a child that isn't eager and willing to show mom and dad, look what I've done, look what I can do. When they see you there, they're there.
Yeah. Yeah. What are the things that families should do if a student has to miss, like they're sick? What do you do?
We encourage you to have communication with the school. We understand situations come up, kids get sick. That's what they do. But we need to know when your child is not in school and we don't know, we worry. Mm-hmm. So if you have a parent view account, and you should have a parent view account, and that would be the first thing that I encourage families to do, is to make sure that their parent view account is active. Make sure that they're checking it, because we send notifications via parent view. But you as a parent, if you wake up in the morning and you see that your little one has a fever and you know that they're not going to school that day, you can submit a note to the school that morning via your parent view.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that lets the school know. If not, you can communicate with the teacher or the attendance clerk at the school. If there's something else going on, we ask that you let us know, because we can support you in that matter. Mm-hmm. Is your child feeling anxious because they're having a hard time reading? Are they feeling anxious because of the social environment? Talk to us. Maybe we can put supports in place. But the number one thing I would say is to have a parent view account and to communicate with your teacher. And sometimes, life happens. Let's say I get that Disney World trip and, hey, half of it's already paid for or whatnot. I understand that you're making a decision as a family to take that vacation. Those are precious memories. But we do ask that you be conscious of the fact that there's 180 days in the school year. Your child might be able to make up that work that he or she missed, but it's not a replacement for that missed instruction.
Right.
So yes, you made that decision as a family, and I respect that. I'm a mom too. But just be cognizant of the rest of the year. Are you going to now try and take another trip? And, those absences add up. Plus, you never know when your child's going to get sick. So when you're planning these vacations, try and plan it during school breaks, the natural breaks that we have. This hurts me to say, I have a freshman. Even with a freshman, I don't know when he's going to get sick.
Right.
But I know that I need to have a game plan for when he is. Mm-hmm. And at the high school level, it really matters when your child misses school, because seat time is a factor in your child passing. Your child can be Einstein, pass every quiz, every test, turn in all his homework. But if he or she doesn't have the seat time, and that's a state requirement, then he or she may fail on attendance alone.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit more about the seat time?
There's 180 days in the school year, and at the high school level, we have block scheduling. That block scheduling is calculated down to the minute to make sure you get the required amount of hours in that classroom. So when you have block scheduling, the magic number for you to remember is 9. At 9 days, excused or unexcused, if your child's passing, they're passing. But once you hit 10, that's an issue of seat time. So if I got the flu, and it hit me really bad, you guys. I was out for 2 weeks.
Right.
I was passing this class, and I was still doing my work. But because I've missed 10 days, I've missed the amount of seat time required of me.
Okay.
Now, at the end of the semester, we have an attendance waiver process, and I can submit my documentation. My parent can submit my documentation as to why little Yvette missed the required seat time. The school looks at it on a case-by-case basis. They may be able to grant you a waiver on the seat time. However, let's say I'm gone 2 weeks because I went on vacation, or, hey, I'm a frequent skipper and my parents don't know, or let's say I just forgot the reasons. I knew it was something valid, but I forgot the reasons and I never turned anything in. So now we don't have a reason that Yvette missed 10 days or more of that particular class.
Gotcha. Okay.
So now, even though I got an A and everything, and even though I worked diligently to catch back up, I'm going to fail on attendance.
Right.
And not only that, attendance counts for our accreditation. Chesapeake Public Schools has great schools. We meet benchmarks. Our kids are passing SOLs. We are accredited by the state. But people need to realize that one of the factors for accreditation is your student attendance. The state looks at what they call the chronic absenteeism rate. So a chronic absenteeism rate is 10% of the school year. So 18 days. The state wants to know whether or not we're coming to school. They don't care about the reason that your child's missing school, whether it was excused or unexcused. They want to know what our chronic absenteeism rate. So go back to that Einstein example. Passing all the classes, the whole school full of Einsteins. But if those children are chronically absent, it's going to affect the accreditation of the school. We work hard for our kids. You work hard for your students, your kids. And it would be a shame for the quality of Chesapeake Public Schools to be tarnished because of chronic absenteeism.
And it's good to know that Chesapeake Public Schools provides resources in regards to this.
We understand things happen in life with our kids. Hey, she was really bad off. I had to take off from work because I couldn't, she needed someone by her side.
Right.
You pivot, you make it happen, but we need you to be in communication with us.
Gotcha. So the Virginia Department of Education has recently launched an attendance campaign with the hashtag Attendance Matters VA.
Attendance has been an issue for the state. It's been an issue prior to COVID, and now post-COVID, it is bad.
Right.
It is bad in the state. It is bad in the United States. There isn't a school division across America that is not being negatively impacted by their attendance numbers. So yes, Attendance Matters VA is a push from the BDOE, and we're all on board. We want your kids here. We want them to be successful. We care for them.
That's why we're here.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. Thanks for joining us, Yvette. I enjoyed the conversation immensely.
Right. It was
Richie
awesome.
Babb,
Thank
it's
you.
always a pleasure.
Always
Thank
a
you.
pleasure. Thank you very
Matt
much.
Graham, you too.
No, thanks. I'm glad I'm in there.
Sometimes.
But remember, hashtag Attendance Matters VA. That's right.
Right on. Thanks for listening to this episode of Amplified, the Chesapeake Public Schools podcast. You can share your thoughts by visiting cpschools.com/amplified. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.